Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. It's La Liga. It's week 32. It's hotting up at the top. In fact, it's Scorchio at the top. Atletico win. Madrid drop points and a little bit more silverware for the dynamic Barcelona. Well, I've got Euan from La Liga Lowdown. I've got Martin Green. But first of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. It's important you subscribe, because then I can notify you and you'll never miss any soccer/football content again. Press the link in the description. It will take you over to articles. So that's a little bit more meat on the bone. They love a parlay over there and they like to give you maybe a little bit of a reverse angle. We've got 6 official games that have got picks in. We're not messing about with dead wood. If you've got another game that you want mentioning or you want a little bit of advice on, then maybe just a lean, then put it in the chat and I'll try and remember at the end. We'll have a 2-team parlay as well. I'm going to have no European Super League chat because this is all about picks. It's all about winners. So let me get meat on the bone. Levante plus 390, draw plus 300. Sevilla minus 130, Euan. And how are you, sir?
Yeah, all good here. Busy weekend of La Liga. It doesn't stop. Here we go with a midweek round. So, yeah, some good games, including this one of the very first ones of the round on Wednesday. And, you know, 2 teams that have been playing pretty good attacking football of late, haven't they? Levante, I mean, they did just get thrashed 5-1 in the derby against Villarreal, but that tells me, once again, they're the kind of team to bet on for both teams to score, because Levante have been doing that all season. 61% of their games this year. They're the third most team in the whole division that have had both teams scoring in their games. Sevilla haven't really been a team that usually has that a lot of 1-0 wins for them, but their last few games they've been a lot of fun. They've opened
up. They've really opened up. You've seen players running off the ball, Euan, and you're thinking, oh my, this is like just the shackles have been taken off. They're just almost like go out and enjoy yourself.
It's exactly that. And I was talking to a Sevilla fan after they beat Real Sociedad 2-1 at the weekend, coming from behind. And basically he was saying, just look at Fernando. Look at Fernando in the game. He's the defensive midfielder. He's been the anchor all season. He's the guy that's sitting back. And now he scored 2 consecutive games. The goal he scored the other day, it wasn't even just popping up out of nowhere. He hit one shot, then got the rebound. And you're thinking, what's he doing in the box? But that's what he was saying, was Lopetegui is throwing caution to the wind, because if you look at where Sevilla are in the table, they're guaranteed at least 4th. They're too far ahead of 5th. So they've got their Champions League football, they've got house money, and they're just going for it and seeing if they can put themselves in the title race. 3 of the last 4 games, both teams have scored. They've been winning the past 2 games, coming from behind on the road. Remember, the one before that was the 1-0 win at home to Atletico, which was also impressive. So I reckon they get another win, a 3rd away game in a row. I reckon they get another win at Levante, and I reckon they do it with a bit of fun with both teams scoring, because that tends to happen when you beat Levante.
Sevilla to win and both teams to score will be great value, Martin. The thing is with Sevilla at the moment, it's almost like you prod the dog, they bite your hand off, because they've come from behind in the last 2 games and they could have won going away.
Yeah, I know you said no Super League chat, Flash, but I would love it if Sevilla went and won the title now ahead of those 3 clubs. That would be amazing. They're on a long winning streak at the perfect time of season, and they're only 6 points off the top now with 7 games to go. They've got momentum. Like Euan said, they're throwing caution to the wind, which is great to see, because no one wants to see these quality players with the shackles on. In midfield, they're fantastic, and going forward, a Campos, Papu Gomez, Joan Jordan's a quality player on the ball. You love to see it. And Levante aren't a particularly strong or stubborn defensive side. They like to have a go. And I think they'll just be outplayed by a superior team that have got greater momentum right now. So I'm also on the away win. I think it looks like a great bet.
Yeah, guilty of overplaying midway through the season has cost Sevilla. Otherwise, they would be bang right in that title, because they are quality. They have great players, but also the unity of them boys. There is 4 genuinely top-class sides in La Liga Primera. Let's move on, because I've got a firm view on both of these sides. Martin, it's Betis plus 155, draw plus 225, and Athletic Club at plus 210. Athletic Club, for me, they've took 1 punch too many. For them, the season's finished. They're tired. I just see all the value at plus 155, plus 150 on a home win, because they run out of gas at the weekend. They got absolutely run ragged, Athletic Club. Now they've got to go to Betis. Oof, not for me.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. They do look like they've run out of steam because they really had a great deal of impetus after Marcelino took charge, and they did really well to make it through to the final. But they were just outplayed, weren't they, in the big final, in the Copa del Rey final? Messi was on fire, De Jong was on fire. That happens. Yeah, they haven't won in a long time, but I worry that Real Betis are also starting to run out of steam, and they're up to their old tricks, conceding goals again. 2 against Valencia at the weekend. They don't keep things tight at the back. That never really happens under a Pellegrini team. They were looking a bit more solid about a month ago, but yeah, a few more lapses in concentration are slipping into their game. So I've just gone for both teams to score in this one. Athletic Club have a good record against Betis, but I think this is time for Betis to also get on the score sheet.
For me, there's a mismatch in energy levels, mismatch in feel-good factor. I cannot go anywhere near the visitors, Euan.
No, I'm the same. I'm with the home team. They did draw against Valencia at the weekend, but were a little bit unlucky. One really good Guedes goal and then a handball from Alex Moreno to give Valencia another chance. I think Betis probably should have won that one. Like Martin says, though, they are a little bit shaky at the back. You can't always rely on them, but they were the better team against Valencia, and I think they'll be the better team against an Athletic Club team that is just absolutely just destroyed physically, mentally. We saw it in the cup final. They hardly got a touch of the ball. They hardly did anything mentally. Some of the players speaking after the game just sounded just demoralised, which makes sense. Losing 2 cup finals in 2 weeks is pretty hard in the same stadium. And then this is a trip back to the same city. Remember, those 2 cup finals were in the city of Seville, in the Cartuja Stadium. This is another trip back to the city of Seville, this time in Betis' stadium. I don't imagine the players will have really enjoyed going back to Bilbao, being quite upset for a few days and then having to go right back to the scene of the crime. So I really just think Athletic might come out quite flat for this one. They've got nothing to play for after losing that cup final. Betis, on the other hand, they really do have a lot to play for because they're in that battle to get into Europa League. So I think Betis come out and are just a better team. We've seen it all season. I think especially this week, they'll be better than Athletic.
Yeah, Barca man, ¿qué pasa? Muy bien, Barca man, ¿cómo estás? Next game, I like this game a lot because I think that this side, they've got every reason to down tools and just concentrate on Europa League, and yet they're not. They're going from strength to strength. They scored 5 at the weekend. Alaves plus 290, draw plus 250, Villarreal at plus 105. And Villarreal, they're almost doing what Sevilla did halfway through the season and play the best stuff. I mean, they are sizzling.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a good run of form. They've got confidence. They've got a lot of players back from injury as well, which I think is important. They had a bit of an injury crisis halfway through the season. The only thing is, Alaves, we spoke about them on Friday's show, still not quite sure what to make of them because they've had the new coach come in. They've now had 2 games. The first one was a draw against Athletic Club, but remember, an Athletic Club side that was resting everybody before the cup final. I mean, not that it did them much good. And then Alaves, they won at the weekend against Huesca, who had been in good form, 1-0. It was a very kind of dull, cagey game, but they did get that win. So they've got a bit of momentum. And remember, their new coach, Javi Calleja, he is the former Villarreal coach. He's been in charge of them about 3 or 4 different times. He's been in the academy, in the B team, in the first team. So if anybody knows these Villarreal players, it is the new Alaves coach. So maybe just keep that in mind. But you can't really go against Villarreal, can you? The form they're in against a team in the relegation battle for a reason. I think you've got to fancy Villarreal for this one. But yeah, just take it maybe with a pinch of salt because Alaves with their new coach, a bit of a new manager bounce, and it's a new manager who knows this Villarreal team well.
I fancy that Villarreal give them the runaround though, Martin, because they keep the ball well, they pass, they move, and now they're getting bodies in the box, and any 1 from 5 forward-thinking players can score.
Yeah, I think Euan's just outlined a good reason to approach this game with caution, that new manager bounce, especially for a manager that knows this club well. I guess in Villarreal's favour, they rested a few players against Levante at the weekend. Despite winning 5-1, they had Capu on the bench, Raul Albiol, Funes Mori was on the bench. And, Alcácer can come into the team for this one in place of Carlos Bacca if they so decide. So he's got options and he can start to shuffle his pack, which is important at this time of season. Yeah, they're looking in ominous form, aren't they, Villarreal, ahead of their big Europa League semi-final clash. Not looking particularly positive for an Arsenal backline that likes to concede goals. Yeah, I'd definitely be siding with Villarreal for this one. Haven't added it to my official picks, but yeah, quite like that.
I have at plus money. God, I listen. There's hot sides in La Liga Primera at the moment, and I think you've got to ride with them and just basically leave the other sides alone. Don't complicate it, because in the next game, Martin, I had 3 different bets for this, and in the end, I had to put a line for them. Granada plus 150, draw plus 205, and Eibar at plus 225. Euan's the Eibar fan. We're going to go to Martin first. I looked at this game and thought, I've got to go with what I always say. The draw at 205, it's a draw. And then I'm thinking, Granada on holiday. Granada are sending postcards of like enjoying themselves on the beach. And I'm thinking, Eibar, if they're going to get anywhere near any sort of survival hopes, they've got to win this game. So what way do you go?
I'm going the way of Granada. I know they had the disappointment of crashing out of the Europa League, but they've had a whole week off to rest since then, to regroup. And I think they'll still want to have a strong finish to the season. Let's not forget that this is a team that was just recently promoted and did really well to finish in the upper echelons of the table last season. I think they'll be keen to at least cement that 8th position. There's a chance maybe they can catch up a bit with Sociedad and Real Betis if they win this game. I just think, Eibar had a humiliating defeat at the weekend. They could be demoralised. They're going to be a bit fatigued. They were chasing the ball quite a lot. But I just think they're run ragged a bit. I know they pick up most of their points on the road, but I think this is a really good opportunity to bet on Granada to return to winning ways. At those odds, it just looks really, really attractive. But you can also go for draw no bet at very good odds as well. Can't see them losing this game. So Granada draw no bet looks really appealing to me.
Euan, it looks like unders to me. Granada are not going to put themselves to any sort of length of trouble. Eibar don't score many. So can we go with maybe 1-0, 1-1?
Yeah, I mean, you can bet on the unders, and then it's basically a case of how many will Granada score, because Eibar are just not scoring. It's 14 games now without a win. They're the joint lowest scorers in La Liga, 5-0. Of course, at the weekend against Atletico, didn't even give Jan Oblak anything to do. He just had an afternoon in the sun. So, yeah, not looking good for Eibar at all. Granada, as Mark mentioned, have had the weekend off. They didn't play because they were due to play one of the cup final teams. So they've had a full week since they had that game at Old Trafford. And I think they will still have something to play for. 7th place is not too far away, 8 points behind, and they have that game in hand. So if they win this one, win their game in hand, they're right up there. Chasing 7th place, which we now know will be European qualification, because with Barcelona winning the cup, the European spot that was supposed to go to the cup winner now goes into the league because Barcelona are already in the Champions League spot. So there's still that carrot dangling for Granada. They're playing an Eibar team that's just in shocking form. Eibar still with a lot of injuries, Granada with a bit of rest. So I'm not really complicating it too much, just going for Granada to win. But yeah, you could also go unders, I think, because if they do win, I don't think it'll be by many goals, because I don't think Eibar will be contributing too many to the scoreline. Maybe it's a 1-0, 2-0, something like that to Granada.
Wow. And Granada at plus 150 at home looks like an absolute trap, or it's been wrapped up and it will be presented to you as one of the best gifts you're going to get all season in La Liga Primera. Okay, let's move on, Euan, because Sociedad minus 110, draw plus 265, Celta plus 325. I think Sociedad are above average, decent. Celta, goals. Is this an Alex Classic? I've actually gone, don't complicate it. I've gone with a home team anywhere near even money.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the ones that I kind of looked at and just wasn't quite sure what to make of either of these teams. I mean, Celta Vigo are very much in that mid-table on holiday mode. I do think Granada still have a bit to play for. Celta Vigo just a little bit further back. Their target for the season wasn't European qualification anyway. Real Sociedad, though, they're slipping up. They need to avoid falling any further. They've got a bit of an injury crisis at the moment, Real Sociedad. Celta Vigo are a bit unpredictable, as we sort of talked about the other day. They had that 0-0 draw against Cadiz at the weekend. So they've gone from a 4-3 defeat to a 0-0 draw in just the space of a few days. So just so unpredictable in terms of will they win, will they score, will they concede. So I'm staying away from this one, to be honest, because two teams that I'm just not quite sure what motivation or what kind of version of the team you're going to find.
Martin, Sociedad, decent side. You love Celta as well. Have you managed to find value and come down on one side of the fence here?
No, I haven't, Flash. If it was a full strength Real Sociedad side, I would be all over the home team. I'm a big fan of them. I love the way they play. I think they've got some really talented midfielders. But yeah, it's like Euan said, it's the injury problems that have put me off. Mendy's a big player for them in the anchor role in midfield, and David Silva's their sort of creative spark. Any team missing him's going to struggle. I just think not with the midfield that they're going to have to put out in this game. Vaguely leaning towards the home side still, but with the quality that Celta have got in attack, I think they could maybe nick a draw here. Real Sociedad are in really poor form at the moment.
Oh, come on, Sociedad at -110. Not complicated now. I've gone with this last game of Barcelona at -350. Martin, draw +540. Getafe +1400. Is this a Barcelona win to nil? Is this a Barcelona to win and Griezmann anytime or Messi anytime?
Yeah, I looked at both this game and the Real Madrid game for ages last night after you reminded me that you needed some tips, and I just couldn't find a way to extract extra value on either team because I can't predict how they're going to win. But I do think they are both going to win, so I've just put them together in a double.
I put it on your official picks.
Yeah, I think Barcelona have the sort of attacking quality to unlock this stubborn Getafe defence that Real Madrid didn't have. Hats off to Euan, by the way, for calling Getafe draw double chance in that game. I
did warn you, don't put it in the parlay, just this.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't mind you giving me that type of link onto Euan because I was going to say Euan also gave us Atletico win to nil. I went Atletico win and under 3.5. They've got no strikers, no forward-thinking players, and they score 5, Euan.
Yeah, some of the players stepped up in that one for Atleti. Correa hadn't scored in 64 days, then he scored one, and then scored another 110 seconds later. That's just that's football, isn't it? The ketchup theory.
So do you fancy Barcelona win to nil?
Yeah, I do for this one. Like Marta says, trying to find some value in this is quite difficult. But Barca win to nil, I got at -110, so you get some value there. And when you think about it, Getafe, they did get that draw against Real Madrid, but they didn't score. They had some good chances. They just can't score. Along with Eibar, they're the joint lowest scorers in the division. Getafe just haven't been strong all season going forward. And when you look at Barcelona, the way they won that cup final against Athletic, they just didn't give them the ball. There was no way Athletic was going to score if you don't have the ball. That first half, Barcelona had 84% possession, 84 in the first half. Overall, it was 77%, and that's only because in the last 10 minutes, Barcelona took some players off to have a bit of a rest, to start celebrating because they were so far in front. So my thinking is, if Getafe are hardly going to get the ball, if Barcelona are playing their back three with Piqué back, and if Getafe are pretty terrible at finishing chances anyway, then a Barcelona win to nil does seem quite plausible to me. And -110, I'll take that.
And if you want really good value, Barcelona's come up with Barcelona to win both halves at +160. Barcelona are scoring goals in both halves. I think that's great value. I'm tempted to actually add that to my official when I get out of here. Let's have a look at the official picks, please, Zuki baby. Okay, Martin's pick, Sevilla, don't complicate it, -130. Real Betis, both teams to score, -105. Granada, draw no bet, -132. Trap. Real Madrid and Barcelona in a double, in a parlay, -115. Granada, +160. Barcelona win to nil, -110. Sevilla to win and both teams to score at +280. And by the way, Baz, you're right. Euan is absolutely on fire. And that's my scouting for you because I told you he was the best of the La Liga Lowdown boys. And Betis at +155. I've gone for Villarreal +100. Sociedad -110. Betis +150. Leave it, Zoot, for a second, because I'm actually going to go with Barca, man. I'm going with Barcelona to win both halves against Getafe at a massive +160. Now, two-team parlay. I mean, boys, do we not want to just... Zoot, you can get rid of that. Parlay, do we like the Madrid and Barcelona don't complicate it parlay?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean
that's what you've gone for, Martin, in your picks, and that's a way to find value. I do think Barcelona's really likely to win this one against Getafe. It's just finding out how they win it. And then Real Madrid, they did get that draw against Getafe, but as we explained, it's because they were missing so many players. But they've got guys coming back. Casemiro's back from suspension. Nacho's back. Maybe some of the COVID guys are back. Someone back from injury. It's Cadiz. It's not quite as tough. So I do think Real Madrid win. So put them together, and then you start to get a bit of value there.
Okay, just under 50%. 41 of you watching, 21 thumbs up. Please press your thumbs up on the way out. And if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Welcome, Rashid, by the way. He's now saying he's new into soccer / football. Feel very, very welcome, and get yourself in the chat and throw any questions you want at us. We'll see you again on Friday. Maybe we'll have a little, maybe a special guest on Friday. I believe Euan's going to go with us again. Again, I told you, he's the best. Yep. We need him. Martin does a million shows and a million articles a day, so he deserves a little rest. He's not going anywhere, I promise you. You cannot get. So I give him Messi just a couple of days off with the family, but he will be back for the big games. And remember, it's Champions League and Europa League again next week as well. So please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Press the link in the description, take you over to the articles. Just go over, have a look, and remember the SBR odds page. It gives you 15 different books. All of them. There's disparity. Make sure you get the best odds so you're in front at kickoff. Thanks, Euan. Thanks, Martin. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We'll see you again soon. It's Thursday, Serie A, then Bundesliga, then Premier League, and on Friday, it will be La Liga again. You take care.